Usually, I don't talk from notes. I always talk from my heart. But today was a big day for me, seeing that I'm going to address such distinguished individuals. And so I'm going to read from my notes a bit, but I'm definitely going to speak from my heart. I'd like to acknowledge and thank the following individuals. North Idaho College President Michael Burke. North Idaho College Popcorn Forum Coordinator, the dynamic Tony Stewart. Safeco Insurance Corporate Culture Director Josh Bruner, who talked to Tony about me speaking today. And my Safeco family that came out to support me. Each one of you here is a distinguished guest or faculty member that I truly want to honor with a special heartfelt vision that was laid out by so many people before us. It is an honor to be here this evening. Your invitation humbles me. To know that I'm here at a podium that has been graced by U.S. Attorney Morris Dietz, Governor Phil Batt, and Greg Carr lets me know how far I've come. I'm on a journey that has led me to this place. My conversation will be about human rights for a new age, diversity in the 21st century. Before I can talk to you about why I feel that understanding and appreciating diversity will result in more vibrant communities and healthy commerce, I must tell you who I am and how I came to this revelation. I believe we are here for a reason. We have a purpose. Should I hold it up, down? Sorry. This way? We have a purpose. Is it too loud? Perfect? Not? Okay. We have a purpose in life to shed good fortune and love to those we touch. And many times, we don't know why we have a difficult time or why we were placed in a given family or situation. As you can see, I was born black. If I had known all the things I do now, I probably would have chosen to be white. No, I take that back. If I had chosen that path, I would not be here today. I would not be in the position to say how it feels to be different from your friends and your neighbors. You see, my dad was of the philosophy that even though he was black, here, okay. You see, my dad was of the philosophy that even though he was black, white was right. So he believed to give his children the best opportunity he could provide was to place them in an environment where they could thrive. That environment happened to be in Lakewood, a suburb of Tacoma, Washington. We were the only black family in the neighborhood and one of two black families in the Catholic school where we were enrolled. You see, my father felt that education was freedom, and the best education provided at the time was a private school. This was a financial strain for our family because we had 12 kids and we were not rich. But nonetheless, my dad found a way to provide. Granted, we were one of the poorest families in the school, and for many years I look back and understand that was one of the reasons I felt ashamed. Not only were we poor, we were black. Now you may ask, why is she telling us this story when we are here to celebrate? And I am here to celebrate with you. It's because of this foundation my father gave me and my 11 brothers and sisters that allowed us the freedom to feel comfortable in a white environment and that I was just as good as my counterparts. I hold this belief today and I take it with me every day of my life. But it was not without a hardship. Because I fit so well with my all-white classmates, I began to mirror what I saw. And as more black families moved into the neighborhood, I was mocked for being in a Catholic school. The black children of the neighborhood would call me white girl. And soon I learned that I wasn't fully accepted by the white community or the black community. At times when I was in school, I'll never forget, My last name was Bird, so they called me Black Crow. They would even say, bless my bottom, bless my soul. It's a walking, talking Tootsie Roll. Do you know the pain, the hurt when you're a kid and your fellow classmates talk to you like that? That's pain. And then I would go home and my dad would say, but you're the best walking, talking Tootsie Roll. He gave me the strength. My dad would tell me, you're the only brownie that's truly a brownie. So go ahead. It did help. So as I aged, I would practice how to be blacker. I would stand in the mirror and practice. That's jive, that's jive, that's jiver, jive, 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 jive. Can you imagine that I was black and trying to be black, or what the media and the stereotypes bestowed on a race of people influenced how I thought about myself and therefore told me how I should be? It was truly painful to feel isolated, different, not accepted by either community, black or white. As I grew older, I would see that this experience shaped me to be who I am today. It taught me to believe in myself, no matter what. It taught me to fight for those that may have a disadvantage in the workplace or in schools. It taught me injustice against me should have been injustice to all. Today, I am more accepting of others because I want them to be who they are. If you're Asian, if you're black, if you're white, if you're Native, if you're disabled, be who you are and what your heart tells you to be. The best we can do in this world is to allow people to be who they are and not what stereotype we think that they should be or who they should be. If I was stereotyped and I portrayed myself as the blacks in the 60s and 70s, then I would have wasted my life on trying to commit crimes, smuggle in drugs, or have 10 babies so I could live on welfare. I'm sure that statement was hard for you to hear tonight. Just imagine how it would feel if you lived it. Growing up in an environment where your best TV show of a black person was committing a crime. I had a niece who told me, Aunt Debbie, I don't want to be black. And I thought, what? She said, no, I want to be white. I want blonde hair and blue eyes. And I said, why would you say something like that? She said, because all black people are bad. I said, well, what about Aunt Debbie? She said, oh, you're the exception. At 6. I would often hear from my peers, oh, Debbie, you're not like other blacks. I was always afraid to ask exactly what that meant. No, instead I decided to live the reality that my father started. I would ignore the stereotypes I heard or felt because if I followed those footsteps, I would have missed out on the college education I earned and the director jobs I held. I would have missed out on the opportunities to have helped others. I wouldn't have been able to help young people learn the importance of giving back. I would not be in a position to tell you about my work and how it has helped Safeco grow. If I tried to be the white person that I am not in order to assimilate, then I would have missed out on the deep-rooted black history that I have and that I am so very proud of. My mother attended Spelman College. My uncle was a preacher and a football coach for Bethune-Cookman College. My grandmother drank sweet tea with the First Lady of America, Eleanor Roosevelt. Why you don't know how important this would be to me? It's because my parents denied that information to us because they wanted us to assimilate and focus on something that they never had. And that was being in an environment where you would have the best education. So we never heard those stories until we were so much older. And that was scary. And what you don't know, I lost one part of my heritage. My mother was born of a woman that was half Cherokee Indian. Because it was worse to be an Indian than to be considered black, my mother's family decided to erase that part of our culture from us in order to survive. She never mentioned her rich heritage of being a Cherokee. If I wasn't exposed to the cruelty of being different, then I would not have developed the passion to fight against injustices. I would not have made it a point to meet and accept people different than me. If I didn't engage 15 years ago with my then 65-year-old Japanese neighbor who said she was scared of black people and who now I call grandma, I would not have learned what it really felt like to be in Japan during the bombing of Hiroshima and what it was like to be a survivor. She was there. She lived through it. She could tell me firsthand how she lost everything and how they made mistakes to take their fine goods, their ball dresses, carrying them out the door when they needed work shoes to rebuild. It is a culture that is rich. Sometimes I tell Grandma, I said, I'm more Japanese than you. I think I'm bilingual. Because when she brings something over as a gift, when I return it to her, I know the Japanese tradition is to put something back in there and give it to her. The richness she has given me, I return twofolds back to her. When I was trying to say, forget about your husband and go, shopping with me, he can eat, who cares about fixing him something? She said, no, I have to do. I said, why? I don't do that for my husband, but I realize it was the honor of her husband, and who was I to change her tradition? Who was I to discount that? And I made a mistake, and now before we go, I bring him something. True, it's true. I would not have had the heart to stand up in meetings in my professional career for those who normally would not be at the table. You see, I was the first African-American operations manager for the Seattle Municipal Court. I was then 27, but this was 1987, and I was the first African-American person, not male or female, that held an operational job, that was over the money, that was over the services that they provided in the court system. If I didn't see my father struggle to be a model soldier, Catholic, dad, husband, then I wouldn't have known that working hard and sacrificing reaps rewards. You see, I grew up in the 60s before civil rights laws were ever passed. Because my mom and dad grew up in the South and wanted something different, they brought their family to the Pacific Northwest by way of the Air Force. So I was not a witness to the trials and tribulations of blacks in the South. I did not carry that burden. I did not know what it truly was to be a slave, but I do know what it was like not to be accepted by your peers, by your teachers, and by some religions. It is the teaching of my father to give back and to strive to be the best that I can be. It is the people who believed in diversity and affirmative action that gave me an opportunity to be a manager and a leader. It is these opportunities that allow me to capitalize on the work I do today. And let me tell you a little bit about that work. I work for Safeco Insurance in an office that's called Jackson Street Center that's located in the central area of downtown Seattle. It borders Chinatown, Broadway, which is like gay lesbian territory. It's just a diverse community of beautiful, rich people. And I have the honor and the privilege to bring these people together in a community forum, in the respect to buy our products, to work for us, to build relationships, to be recipients of our grants. It is truly an honor and a privilege to work with community activists like yourselves, but not just for black, not just for white, not for just natives. Gay, lesbian, Japanese, Korean, Somalis, Ethiopians. It is in the tradition of Jackson Street to open the doors and let everybody be free to be who they are, because the best way that you can honor an individual is to let them be them. At Jackson Street, I have 5 real goals that the company lays out for my performance review. And it's to attract people of color and women to want to work for Safeco, to sell our products, to open up the doors so that people will understand that Safeco is a giving corporate citizen in a community that is in an emerging market. And also to remember, Debbie, you're also there to, as you spend, please bring some money in. So growth and profitability, profit and loss. When you look at these 5 goals, you could say, boy, that's a lot. And it is. But because Safeco's corporate office is in the University District and my boss's office is in Redmond, I kind of do the goals the way I want to. So I've modified our producer development program from training people to become agents and work for other insurance agencies to allowing experienced insurance professionals to start their own businesses. So we are an incubator where we provide them with the tools to start their own business. These businesses have brought in over $2 million in sales for Safeco. Currently, we have 5 of those businesses working out of my office. We have 1 white woman owner, 1 Asian woman owner, 2 African American men owners, and 1 Asian man. If it wasn't for Safeco and this program, these business owners would not have been able to start their own business. And it gets better. 2 of the owners have hired employees that work out of the office. I will focus on 1, Angie Douglas. Angie Douglas hired a beautiful Oromo woman from Ethiopia. This woman has brought in more customers and their families and their family referrals that my agent can't keep up. She had to hire another agent. This is the example of diversity, community, and commerce. It was Angie's willingness to hire someone unlike her that brought in business that she more than likely would never ever reached. This is human rights for a new age, diversity in the 21st century. It is a human rights violation to not allow people to work and make a living. It is a human rights violation not to allow people to be who they are in the workplace and bring their community in. Safeco is a corporation who walks the talk. For if it wasn't for Safeco, Angie would not have been in a position to capitalize on these emerging markets. Badria would not have been employed in an office environment where she had no skill or experience. You see, Angie saw the value of investing in Badria, and it has paid off. Badria can be who she is. She can wear her traditional dress, and people can ask her about her dress, not because they want to make fun of her, because she's different, but because they want to share in the richness. Padria brings her community to us because she knows that we will treat them with respect. Not only do we sell them products, but we also teach them about what it is to be an American and our norms, because not everybody coming to this country would understand. So we break down those barriers. In addition, Safeco has many, many other programs, and I could stay up here all night to talk about them and sing their praises. From grants to help people get jobs, which I invest in, Safeco invests in, and there's just 2 examples that I'd like to capitalize on. One is a guy named Mohammed that went through a training program that Safeco sponsored. He has 8 kids, and he's now currently employed by Jiffy Lube. Natasha, a Russian immigrant, is now working as a cake decorator at Safeway and has obtained her citizenship and is currently working to bring her mother over here to live. This is work of embracing diversity and human rights. And do you know that each of these individuals has Safeco insurance purchased through the Jackson Street office? But it doesn't stop there. You're opening up a human rights center. Safeco has opened the Jackson Street office up, open to the community. Over 7,000 people have graced our offices by being present for their meetings. We have other workshops that bring people in that sometimes I think it's like a United Nations. And you know what? That feels good. It feels so good. This is the message that I came to talk to you about. This is the gift given to each of you. Each one of you today can look at your life and see the opportunities that are there for you to make a difference in your neighborhood. Your community is rich with a sense of family and love. I felt it when I walked in the door. Your community has fought and won against a powerful hate group, the Aryan Nation. Idaho has passed some of the strongest anti-harassment laws. You're building a human rights center to welcome everybody and document the legacy that you've already lived the first 30 years and the continued struggles that will be carried on by the youth. I am here to celebrate with you, not for what we've done, but the great work that we will continue to do. This community is striving to be different. You have demonstrated it by holding these forums for the last 35 years. This community welcomes change and values individuals who give back and make this place a better place to live. This community is a place my father would have looked to welcome his family. This is a community that my father would have rooted his children to spout trees of success. This community has many of my father's children in it. And it feels good to know that you don't have to be white to be respected and loved and to have an opportunity to work. You don't have to be white to get the products that you need and the services that that should be convenient to you. It's great to see that you have created a community that will grow and thrive, and that you understand by embracing diversity and the beauty that only people different from you can bring a richer piece of the American dream, and it will be realized through your efforts. Now, my friend Josh told me that a good speech has to have a couple of quotes before it can be good. So in closing, I leave this one with you. I've been given this day to use as I will. I can waste it or use it for good. What I do today is important because I'm exchanging a day of my life for it. So I give you this day. I give you me. I've shared with you my truth. Please let it help you make this world a better place. Please take it with you every day that you see someone that does not look like you, and embrace them with the love and the truth that you would want for your children. And I thank you for this opportunity.